In 14 different incidents.
One of them in Canarsie, Brooklyn, the site of 3 drive-by shootings. In a matter of 15 minutes, 5 people were struck by gunfire.
Neighbors demanding something be done. Eyewitness News reporter Sifan Kemp live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn with more. Sifan?
Well, Shadi and Joe, the Black Lives Matter movement has been getting all the attention lately, but here on the ground in the neighborhoods most plagued by gun violence, we have been hearing something slightly different. There have been many here who want to see more cops on the street, not less. They say yes to reform, no to defunding police. And after endless bloodshed, their message is beginning to finally break through. But some say City Hall is not listening.
First and foremost, he's in La La Land. He's living a fantasy right now.
How many lives need to be lost? How much blood needs to be shed before what's happening on the ground boils over? The streets are crying, and eventually numb from the pain.
Let the gun down, please!
That hurt turns into outrage.
Today, the gloves come off. To this mayor, and I'll say it again, what's happening in New York City, the blood is on your hands.
The inner city communities, they want the police in their communities, but they want them there policing them like they police every other community. We have to get the anti-crime and street crime units back.
At the scene in Canarsie, one of 3 drive-by shootings last night in Brooklyn, community leaders blaming the erupting violence on the mayor. 14 shootings across the city overnight, 18 victims, including a 17-year-old shot and killed in East Harlem. In Brooklyn, investigators say this getaway car linked to the drive-by shootings, and the NYPD today releasing this surveillance video of the 2 gunmen who opened fire at a cookout in Bed-Stuy, killing a 1-year-old boy Sunday night. The grandmother of DeVell Gardner speaking to Fox News last night.
Everybody talk about Black Lives Matter. What about baby lives? What about teenager lives?
NYPD Chief Terrence Monahan blaming gangs, one crew going after another, indiscriminately firing on the streets.
All the rhetoric of defund the police, get rid of the police, abolish the police, that's got to end. That has to stop. We need to find that middle ground of cops and communities working together.
Meanwhile, Mayor de Blasio on the defense again today for disbanding the anti-crime unit.
People don't have jobs or school to go to. The court system's not working. I mean, come on. We are not dealing with business as usual here.
And you're allowing these progressive protesters out here to destroy our city. You're at fault.
Community's not asking for police officers to be dismantled. The community's saying we want to be treated like every other community.
Now, this group tomorrow at 9 a.m. will march in prayer across the Brooklyn Bridge from Codman Plaza to City Hall. They say this is not a protest, and they're asking anyone who's part of the Black Lives Matter movement to join them, saying they should, quote, be out here against black-on-black violence too. The NYPD, by the way, is offering a $10,000 reward for any information on arrest that may lead to an arrest in that shooting death of the 1-year-old boy. Their Sergeant's Union just added another $5,000 reward on top of that.
Violence in New York City continues to grow today. In fact, police made a grisly discovery on the roof of a building in the Bronx. The body of a man wrapped in plastic was discovered on the roof of a McDonald's fast food restaurant on East 149th Street. That's where Eyewitness News reporter Naveen Dhaliwal is live with the very latest on the investigation. Naveen.
Yeah, Liz, all we know is that this man in his 50s was found on the roof of that McDonald's restaurant. So many questions here tonight as to how did he die? Are police looking for suspects? And right now the McDonald's is back open, but this apartment building entrance still blocked by police. Investigators responded to a call at 6 a.m. today about human remains on the roof of this McDonald's here at East 149th Street next to Lincoln Hospital. Newscopter 7 over the scene. The body, police say, was partially wrapped in a plastic bag when discovered and had a U-Haul blanket thrown over it. On the ground, the McDonald's closed, and as customers coming for a meal learned the news.
That's crazy. Yeah, I live right down the block. And for this to happen?
For me, it's shocking because I was passed through here, and it's like, how they could find a dead body up there.
Fire crews were called in and with their ladder carefully removed the remains. Today, investigators could also be seen taking bags of evidence and placing them into the crime scene unit, leaving so many questions yet still to be answered.
This is really sad, that this is happening. I mean, aside of all the bad things that is already going on, we should be helping each other and not killing each other.
And as I stand here at the 4 o'clock hour, the crime scene unit is behind our camera, still here. I've been watching investigators take pictures, even until just about up to 2 minutes ago. The medical examiner did take the body, and they will determine the exact cause of death.
Identity of the victim murdered in a luxury high-rise in Lower Manhattan. Cops say it was a targeted hit of 33-year-old Fahim Saleh, tech CEO found decapitated and dismembered inside his apartment yesterday. Josh Einiger at the scene on the Lower East Side tonight. Josh?
Yeah, Joe, this is a small but pretty fancy building. The elevator opens directly into full floor apartments. There are 7 or 8 of them, one per floor. And every tenant has a key fob like this that controls the elevator that gets you to your floor. Police sources say they have video showing that when Fahim Saleh got on and selected his floor, the man who would kill him got on and pretended to use a key fob to select a different floor, but just followed Saleh to his home and executed him.
Hey guys, if you don't already know me, I'm Fahim Saleh.
Friends describe him as a brash and innovative entrepreneur who started businesses in Nigeria and elsewhere in the developing world. But cops say Fahim Saleh was targeted and executed in his Lower East Side apartment, his body carved up in what sources say seemed like a professional attempt to conceal the evidence. This woman is Saleh's best friend.
I think someone hired a hitman. That's just my hunch.
Saleh lived in a luxury condo on Houston Street on the Lower East Side, where Monday he used his key fob to select his floor in the elevator. Surveillance video shows a man wearing black, carrying a bag, following him on the elevator, acting like he selected a different floor. But when they arrived at 7, where Saleh lived, the man followed him off.
But one of the neighbors heard screaming and very loud noises when this happened.
When Saleh's sister buzzed the apartment yesterday to check on him, police said the assassin might still have been in there using a power saw to dismember the body, but was interrupted and ran down a fire stair.
It's just such bizarre news that no one would believe this is happening. This is crazy.
Yeah, police have been tight-lipped about information they've developed in terms of a potential motive here. They've been very carefully poring over the victim's business files and his computers with an eye toward finding something there that could unlock the mystery of what happened to him. They also do, of course, have surveillance video of the suspect who was wearing a black mask, but so far police have opted not to share it with the